What's up guys, my name is Karol and welcome to Ads Courses, a place where you can learn the best digital marketing and web analytics tricks. Today I'm gonna talk about the 10 most common Google Ads mistakes that I've come across while auditioning hundreds of accounts in recent years. So watch this video if you want to make sure that you're not making any of these mistakes. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe and like button. Okay, so are you ready to learn something new? Just hold on to your hats and let's start. Okay, so I want to focus on the mistakes, but also give you the solutions and show you exactly how to do these things properly. The first most common mistake is a bad account and campaign structure. A lot of people don't use a proper campaign structure in their accounts, and a lot of people don't use a structure at all. A lot of people are actually having a one campaign and every keywords within this campaign, which is a big mistake, of course. And there are different strategies when it comes to creating a structure for your campaigns and account. And I will show you here the most common ones right now. The first one is a structure when you have all the match types in one campaign, so the exact phrase and the broad match. A lot of people add different match types keywords within the same ad group, and I don't think it's a good solution. I think a better way is to have a different ad groups for different match types. Like in this example, we have an exact match ad group, phrase match ad group, and broad match ad group separately. And you would have to add the exact match from the exact match ad group into your phrase and broad match ad groups. So this is the one example, but there's another one which is my favorite, and I like to keep my exact match keywords in a separate campaign and a broad and phrase match keywords in a different campaign. And with this solution, you only need to have exact match negatives on a campaign level, because in here you would have to add exact match negatives on an ad group level, which is actually harder to do. And here you just need to add them on a campaign level, and it's way easier to optimize these campaigns and exact match keywords. Another aspect is RLSA, the remarketing search ads, and do you want to keep them as separate campaigns or just a bit modification in a general campaign? And in most cases, I would say to have RLSA in your general campaign only as an observation with bit modifications, because if you would like to have a different RLSA campaigns, you would have 2 times more campaigns on your account, and it would be more difficult to actually optimize them and keep them in a control. There are some situations where you would like to have a separate RLSA campaign. For example, if you have a very small budget and there are some keywords that are very expensive and you just can't afford to advertise on them, you may want to have a separate RLSA campaign. For example, if you don't have a large budget and there are some very expensive keywords that you want to advertise on, and you could create a separate RLSA campaign just for these general expensive keywords and show on them only for people that visited your site before. Another example of a different structure is when you have a large account with different services or product lines with different conversion goals, and you're using automation on this account. And you could have on one account separate campaigns for these different services, for example, but when you're using automation, this could cause problems for the system to actually know which conversions are more valuable for you. So a better solution would be to have a different accounts for these different services, and within these accounts you would have different campaigns and only the conversion goals related to the service. A second most common mistake is geo-targeting settings for location of interests. And this is actually a default Google Ads settings. When you create a campaign in the Google Ads interface, it will be selected on default, and this will actually cause your ads to show in different locations than you actually wanted to. So you can change this in the location settings, like in this screenshot. There are some situations, of course, where you want to use the option of interests. For example, if you're running a hotel or a restaurant. Another most common mistake is running just one shopping campaign. And of course, if you have a fresh account or a small shop, it's okay to have a one shopping campaign, but you should always work on creating the second or a third shopping campaign in time. and there are different strategies when it comes to separating the shopping campaigns, and you should always think about the best structure for your products. So for example, you could have a separate shopping campaign for best selling products, or a separate shopping campaign for a product category search terms, or a separate campaign for a brand search terms. And another example of splitting the PLA campaigns is to have a separate campaign for best-selling products, a separate campaign for the products with average sales, and a separate campaign with the worst performing products. Another example is when you have a shop with only one product category, but with different prices. So you could create a separate campaign for products with the highest prices, a separate campaign for the medium prices products, and a third campaign for products with the lowest prices. And no matter how you're gonna split your campaigns, you should use the custom labels to split your campaigns. Another mistake is not analyzing the attribution models. And there are many different default attribution models in Google Analytics or Google Ads interface. And you should always analyze them before making any important decisions. I won't tell you now which one is the best because it depends on your business, but in general I like to use the position based or linear, but if data driven is available for you, you should always switch to data driven attribution model. And you can compare the different models in Google Analytics interface over here. Another mistake is common for people who just started advertising on Google Ads, and it's using only the broad match keywords. And of course, you should use the exact match and phrase match keywords as well, and I would recommend to use them on different ad groups or different campaigns. Another one is not using automation at all. And believe me, I still have a lot of accounts where I use ECPC model and manual bidding, but you should always test automation on your account because it's here for you. Even if the results would be the same, you should switch to automation because it will save you a lot of time. If you want to learn more about automated bidding strategies in Google Ads, you should definitely watch my other video on this topic. Another mistake is using automated bidding strategies with no campaign history. And I know that Google is saying that their system is able to run an automated campaign without any historical data, but I would actually recommend that you run your campaigns for at least 30 days. It all depends on how much data you're generating, and then switch to automated bidding. Another one is bad conversion tracking or not tracking conversions at all. A lot of people don't have any conversions on their accounts, but there are a lot of people that have conversions, but they are not tracking them properly, or the conversions are not valuable enough. Because, for example, tracking visits on your contact page may not be the best conversion for you. You should use Google Tag Manager to actually implement the more advanced valuable conversions, like submitting a form or buying, of course, your product, or interacting with live chat, for example. Another one is not using responsive display ads. And a lot of people actually still use the static or HTML5 banners on their account, which is not bad. You should use them. You have definitely more control when it comes to visuals in static display, but responsive display ads will increase your reach significantly. And that's because they support every format in Google Display Network, which is like more than 200 formats right now. So you definitely have way more impressions, way more clicks and conversions, and just in general a greater reach when you're using responsive display ads, and they are just way faster to create. And the last one is not using negative keywords at all, or using the wrong negative keywords. Because I've seen a lot of accounts where they just constantly added negative keywords, but always in an exact match. And I think it's just better to spend some more time on searching the repetitive phrases in search term report and try to find these phrases that you could add as negatives in phrase match or broad match, because adding only exact match won't help you in a longer run. So try to find negatives that you can implement in phrase or broad match. So, are you making any of these mistakes? If so, no need to thank me, just click the subscribe button and we're even. Okay, so thanks for watching this video and see you in the next episode. Bye!